And that's cool. We got everybody in the house. Let's get it going. Okay, so questions have come in. So I'm just going to get going with those first. We've about 7 of them. And then if there's any follow-up questions you want to ask away and I'll answer. So first question is from Andy. And it was about, Dave, how do I incorporate the metronome into my strumming? So the first thing is, Andy, you're trying to for Save the Last Dance, and you say you think it's important. The metronome is important. Now, the thing about the metronome is, it's important to treat learning to play with the metronome as a skill in itself. Let's just say you're learning this Drifter song, Save the Last Dance. So to get your clear chords, your chord changes, the strum in time, to get chord sections out correctly, they're all milestones in the song. The metronome is a great practice tool and it is important with these things, but if you haven't used them before, that's a milestone in itself. So what I'm going to do is, I am going to pull up my metronome here. Got the world's biggest metronome, an iPad, and I'm going to get this here. So Andy, if I was in the beginning stages of guitar, this is exactly how I would practice the metronome for Save the Last Dance. Just get this here. Okay, so the key thing with the metronome is to set it at a nice slow speed to start. So I'd set it at like probably 60 just to get going. And then with the way you're learning Save the Last Dance, you have the capo on the 2nd fret and it's the D chord. So your very first job is to learn to stick with the metronome. That's your only job. And how I do that is metronome at 60 BPM. And well, most expensive metronome indeed. Okay, so I get this here. I'm on a D chord, capo 2, and I go. That's all I'm doing. Down strums, I'm not doing the full rhythm, and I'm on the chord that I'll play the song on. And I practice it on all down strums on the D for, this could be a few days because it's a brand new skill. Do that for a couple of days on the D chord, on the A chord, because that's also in the song, and on the G chord. So now you've kind of fitted your strum with the metronome on those chords that are in the song, and you're doing down strums in time, and that's going to keep your internal rhythm, your foundations, the base of your rhythm, in the most important place it can be, in time. And then after a couple of days, when you feel that you're matching the metronome, and you got to play on the metronome, don't react to the metronome like this. See that I'm listening and reacting. I need to be on. Like that. If you tap your foot to the metronome and then match your strum to your tap, that'll work very well. The tap is like the connecting point between your strum and the metronome. So that would work. And then once you're matched with that, because the beauty of this is, if you're not matching to that, do not go near like the chord progressions and like singing and playing with metronome, not at all. It would be just get those downs, and then from there start connecting it up. With that, then when you're on it, what you want to begin to do is add in a little bit of rhythm, then your strum pattern, but only, again, take it on one chord at a time. All right, so I'll do this really quick. Like that. So do you see the way that it's going down, down, up, up, down, up? That'll be a skill in itself as well. There's all these mini milestones along the way, right? So that's a key thing to watch with the metronome, because the big problem with the metronome is that we'll try to do the whole thing we can do with the metronome and then go, something's amiss. So one chord, single strums, tap the foot, 60 BPM, that's your speed. Think of it like learning to drive. You wouldn't get in a car and try and go 100 straight away sort of thing. You'd start slow. And our slow on the metronome is 60. And then ramp it up to 65 gradually, but you always want to be in the zone of control where you're keeping it consistent. It's far better than playing at 80 BPM, beats per minute, the metronome ticking fast, and kind of getting it. Okay, so 60. Hope this helps. Andrea, you're saying you've never used one either. Haven't seen you play. It's okay. I mean, okay with respect to, I don't think you need to get into metronome work yet. However, with the finger picking course, there's going to be metronome in those examples. So yes, you will be meeting the metronome this week, everybody. All right. And for anybody wants to hop in with us, we're doing a whole finger picking. What do we call it? Finger picking journey for July, something like that. So if you want to hop in afterwards, I'll share info at the end. Now, next question from Thomas. Okay, let's go here. Okay. Next question from Thomas was, you're working on, have you ever seen the rain? And you're getting the strumming right. Good job. Okay. For the G chord, I use my index on the A string, my middle finger on the E string, my ring on the highest E string. So Thomas is using the 3-fingered G, and he thinks he's using the word like it's squeaky, like a bit. I kind of use honky as well, and thin, as opposed to the normal C chord. So this. Yeah, in general, Thomas, I would try the 4-fingered G instead of the 3. That's like the quickest fix for that open, tinny, squeaky sound. The second fix, let's just say if you're still finding that on the G chord, would be to strum a little bit more over the sound hole where it's a bit more mellow. Like that, instead of here. See that? So that's what I try, Thomas. So switch to the 4-finger G, then check where you're strumming your rhythm. As for the upstrum, I'm not sure. I'd have to see you play. Generally the upstrum wouldn't cause it. Okay, but I don't know. we'll see. Give those a go first though, and drop me a DM, alright? After, if you're still having problems. Alright. Hey Noel, what is up? Welcome in. You're welcome, Thomas. Noel, you need to go and get a late slip. I'm joking. I need to go and get a technology slip. My thing is all over the shop. All right, you're welcome in, Noel. If you have any questions, let us know. It's the group guitar call that's at 7:30. That's I've almost mixed those up myself. Okay, next question from William is William. This is an interesting one. I had to go googling this. William said he heard the term double stop, and I thought I knew what it meant. And you mentioned there's places saying it's a turnaround. I was Googling this because my understanding of double stop is that it's 2 notes played at once on an instrument. We did double stops on violin. For example, Black Eyed Peas. Double stops, right? Bit of Tin Lizzy. So William, I was looking this up. Double stop. That's the meaning I got from it too. So I'm not sure unless you want to send me a link. But definitely, if anyone said double stop to me in a jam or anything, I'm doing that. Like I've never have heard the term turnaround used, or double stop used as a turnaround. So hope that helps. Okay, so here. Just so you know, when I pause, I'm just writing down the times where the questions are answered, because if you want to catch the replay, this will all be chaptered. Alrighty. Yeah, Thomas, yeah, upload a video. Yes, that's what they're for. Okay. Brian's still here. Yeah, me and Brian are working at the Metronome, by the way. How's it going for you, Brian? Drop a comment there. And Brian can say the same. Andy, if you're still here, if you're watching this, Brian and yourself, you talk about the metronome, it'll be the same sort of thing. I said to Brian, just single downs on one chord and then get between them and then start adding in the chord changes. Just a single step at a time. Okay. Next up is a solo question. Okay. Next question came in from Steve, and it's around solos. Okay, Sorry, I'm just reading through. Easy first solos to learn. This is a common trap I see online. I even Googled this evening because I wanted to see what would be on it. And there's websites and YouTube channels that call easy solos. Now, if you're starting out soloing, you're going to Google easy solos and then you find that. So, what I did was I had my own ideas and then I went through the list and I kind of went and it was like that one, that one, that one. So, here are 1, 2, 3, 4, here's 6 what I'd consider easy-ish solos to learn. First one be high and dry. Okay, and I'll share why they're easy, why they'd be considered easy. 1, it's on 1 string. Okay, so there's not a lot of crossing over strings. 2, the rhythms aren't so bad. It's not going. It's nice and straight. So that's High and Dry by Radiohead. Zombie by the Cranberries follows a similar structure. Right, it's very straight as well and mostly on 1 string. So any solos you see written mostly on 1 string with nice tappable rhythms are good. About a Girl is next. This one, I remember learning this one. Started improvising there, but you get the idea. Rhythms aren't so bad. It's all around here. There's no bends, no hammer-ons. There was double stops there, William. Yeah, Smells Like Teen Spirit. Again, around 1 area. And one thing that makes that easy is that, think of all the times you would have heard that song. Okay, that's another one. Man Who Sold the World, Nirvana version. See, that's a nice one. And then the last one is Californication. That's nice. What a tune. Okay. So those are a few, Steve, that you could try. Again, the themes you're looking for is stuff without major hammer-ons, pull-offs, bends, not a big long solo. If it's on 1 string, that's good. And I know it's nicer sometimes just to give them the list. That's what I'd say. High and Dry by Radiohead, Zombie by the Cranberries, About a Girl by Nirvana, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Man Who Sold the World, and Californication. Okay? Hope that helps. Okay. Class. Love it. I love that you're sharing. This is why our community is so brilliant. I just see answers from the questions in the chat. That's so cool. Okay, next one is from Zohib. Okay, so Zohib's question is around how to play and shift bar chords easily and fluently. Whenever he tries, it buzzes. Okay, again, what I'd say is pick 1 shape only and learn to shift that one. So when it comes to bar chords, there's a couple of shifts you need to master. The first shift would be shifting from 2 the common shapes. So for example, if I'm on B minor, then I move up to G, that's a very usable and a very common chord shape or chord transition that's in a ton of songs. So I'm here, going up to here, right? So now, here's the question. How do you play and shift that position? And that one is more, I think it's diagonal is the position when you go like here. So that's the one we're working on here. Okay, and of course, working from G to B minor as well. When you work on one of these shifts, it's bidirectional. It benefits both ways. So, how you do it is, if I'm here, the key thing is you got to relax your fingers. So they got to go dead like this. And then you got to lift them off the strings ever gradually like this. And the second they're in position, I mean, you clamp down as quick as you can. Okay, there's no time to go, how's everything doing? Is it okay? Yeah, it's good. Okay, great. There's no time. Okay, so you just got to train the fingers. Okay, so you lift, lighten, press. That's the thing. Okay, so that move, I'd work that on B minor to G, and then I'd pick another common chord change that's the same position direction, and that's C sharp minor to A. Okay, Madness, My Girl. It goes, my girl's mad at me. I didn't wanna see the. So you can use this in loads of stuff. Okay, those two are connected a lot. And the reason it's good, even though you've practiced going from B minor to G, and now I'm saying to practice going C sharp minor to A, is because you know yourselves, bar chords feel different in different areas of the neck. So just because you've mastered one doesn't mean you can carry it up through. There does come a day where, when you've done them enough, that you'll find that, yeah, you know, wherever you play in the neck will be okay, or if you swap guitars. So that is one, and that's one tip. The other way to move them is, like, you can move up the way, of course, or you can move back the way. Now, the tips for these are as follows. Really quick, again, you lift the fingers, you lighten, and you move, and then you press. Now, where you look matters hugely. Andrea, I know we spoke about this for the C minor bar chord. If you begin to look as you play, and kind of begin to become aware of where you're looking on the fretboard as you play bar chord, it's something we're often unconscious of. So, like if I'm on A, now I'm already looking at the 7th fret here, and I'm already looking to go there in advance. Okay, so I'm here, and I'm there. Okay, you'll notice there's no major like head movement to get it. I'm on this one, but I'm looking at the next one, and that next one could be anywhere on the neck. So that'll be your next. So I'm going to give you two. There's like a ton of these, but there's no point giving you like 7 or 8 of them, because all you got to do is pick one and put it into practice. Okay. There's a trap that happens for guitarists. I fell into it as well. For example, if I gave you 7 things there, and Steve, it would be the same with the solos. You could try, and I know in our group we spoke about this lately, you could try something, and when it gets to the hard part in it, whether it's bar chords, whether it's a solo, finger picking pattern, or a song, it'll get a bit hard, and you'll go, there might be an easier one out there. Maybe you said them in the wrong order, and then try that, and then bounce between them. So we pick the first one, drill it, then get the second one, I go. Hope that helps. Alrighty, let's see. I'm gonna get the next one. Okay. Question from Steve. What size strings on an acoustic guitar? I go with 11s. I have 11s on this. Why? It's because you can do sorts of lead things and chord things. 12s would be the next step up. The odd time I've put 12s on, it's a fuller tone, a nicer tone. 10s are really nice as well for doing lead stuff on acoustic. I had those for many years. They are quite thin when you're going to strum stuff though. That's the only thing. All right, hope that helps. Now, let's have a look through the chat here. We'll see what's up. So, let's see. Any questions you all have, let me know. TikTok. Okay. Okay, 11's all the way. Yes, William. Good. No time for a lunch break between chords. No. Okay. Okay, cool. So, a question from Noel. That's a good question. I often hear guitar players saying when reviewing a guitar things like, this is a great guitar for fingerstyle. Is that just a preference thing, or a certain guitar is better suited to fingerstyle? Man, my personal thing is just to work on your fingerstyle, so it doesn't matter what guitar you're on. The things that would make one nice for fingerstyle, I'm guessing, is tone. Like, I have a Duina guitar, which I don't think I've shown you. I actually have it given out to somebody for months now. It's lovely for fingerstyle. It's nylon string. It's terrible for other stuff, you know, but it's more a statement that it's terrible for other things rather than it's nice for fingerstyle. But definitely, I don't know. No, that's a good question. I've never too many saying it. I'd be interested. Drop me a link. I'd love to see that video, or if you remember where it is. But the main thing that makes the guitar nice for fingerstyle is the action, that the strings are nice and close to the fretboard, that the neck isn't too wide, and that there's a nice sustain off the guitar. That's what the Duina does, the one I have, the Steve Cooney hybrid model. You can hit a note and it sounds as thick as one of the thick strings, you know. So that's interesting. Okay. Nines on electric. Nines, yeah, I used nines for quite a while, and then do you know what somebody got me into, William? They got me into 11s on the three thick strings and tens on the thin ones. But the tone, but it was for playing heavier music. But I know Eddie Van Halen used nines. Definitely did him no harm. Okay, cool. So, question from Andrea: how often should you change the strings? Oh man, I think once a month ideally. Like, it's when you change them you go, oh my god, these sound so good. If you use elixirs, D'Addario elixirs, they last way longer, but the tone is just so much better off them. Now, I know there's a cost involved with changing them very frequently. So I was looking like on Thomann as an example. They're a store here in Europe. You can get 3 packs of these elixir strings for €33, which is cheap as chips for them, because they're like, I think even on Amazon or something, they're like 18, 19 quid for 1 pack. So yeah, so that's what I'd recommend. How you can test to check should your strings be changed. The sound of them, you mostly know when you change your strings, because the new ones sound so much better. But visually, if you got a white sheet of paper and you put it in under the guitar, it would show up all the dirt and all the black spots of where they were worn, and you'd be amazed at what you'd see. 2020. Yeah. Oh no, I've a few students. You're not alone. Change them, definitely. Elixirs. Maybe if one of the lads there in the chat knows how it's spelt, they could drop the name. Yeah. There's come on, Andy. Yeah, mind the strings now. If you're ordering the strings, just watch out for certain brands. I have been stung where I bought strings that were priced very well and had reviews, and I played them within a week. I had to get rid of them. So definitely, I agree with you can get. I agree that brands sometimes add extra cost onto items that really it's only the brand, but strings, I would recommend elixirs, D'Addario elixirs. Do you change your own strings? Yeah, I do. I have a video inside the community on how to change strings. What I suggest with it is, like, one thing we could do, this idea's just come to me inside the community. If there's a few of you that need to change strings, what we could do is you watch the video, the tutorial that I had on how to change them, and then if something goes wrong, we have a Zoom set the following day or on the Thursday call where I can just talk you through it in person. There's an idea. But it would be nice to change strings, definitely. Yes, the guitar is... Yeah, you won't believe the tone on them. Just sounds... Every single time I change strings, I wish I did it sooner. And that's even after a certain amount of time. Okay, cool. Yeah, we might have to have an old circle of amnesty or circle of trust in the community. Just when was the last time everybody changed their strings? D'Addario... Oh, cool. Declan, do you want to share more about those strings? D'Addario do elixirs as well, but that's interesting. XS, I hadn't heard of those. Alrighty. Declan, you might be able to pick us up a few while you're over in Cologne. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to check over here to see if any questions came in. But if you got any other questions, I'm here for the next good while. Okay. No, we're going good. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's an option as well. Like I know some people who are just they want somebody to do it. The only thing about, I bet Declan, you know how to change your strings, so if you had to, if you're out and about somewhere and you broke it someplace, like playing a gig, there would be my number one thing to ever, worst case scenario, that you'd break a string at a gig and you didn't know how to change it. That's kind of what I watch out for. But and the other thing too is like when I was learning first, my guitar teacher, like it took me an hour to change strings the very first time, and then my guitar teacher told me a story in a lesson of one night they were playing a gig, and I think it was Hotel California. He snapped a string, and he managed to get it. They kept playing the song, and he managed to get it changed right before the solo, and he still made the solo on time and played the solo with his brand new string. I thought that was cool. It's like a benchmark, a Formula One pit stop benchmark. So yeah. So what I did back then was I got really fast at changing strings. I had set a challenge for myself to be able to change one in like a minute. Expensive pastime, but still, you'll get quicker the more you do it. Alrighty. Access through the Taylor recommendation. Okay, cool. Thank you. I wonder, Declan, are they the recommendations on all of them? Because the baby Taylors come with elixirs. Interesting. Cool. Nice. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to tackle another guitar question that had come in at the start. Tips for chord transitions. Okay. So basically, when it comes to chord transitions, the thing to watch is you just got to focus on one chord transition at a time. Okay, one thing at a time. And like if I was working on G to G, I'll pick random. I'll pick different chords today. A, F sharp minor, D, and E. Okay, that's used. Using that or any song. If the F sharp minor was the whole thing holding the show up, I wouldn't waste any time playing D's and E's or anything. I would just tackle the A to F sharp minor, and I just do that over and over. Set a 1 minute timer. Since it's a bar chord, we do have strength and endurance to consider. So what you want to do is do this for a couple of minutes. When your hands and fingers get tired, go and do open chords. Take a break. But you're measuring how fast you can change the chords in a minute. Okay, and then if let's say if you do 4 in a minute and they're clear, then 4 is your benchmark. And I often share this. I taught a student once, and for 30 days, I set them the challenge to work on their chord transitions 3 times a day and write down their average. And the baseline went up, on average, went up throughout the month. Because you know yourself, some days you show up to guitar and it's brilliant. Other days you show up and things mightn't just be going your way. So because of that, it's a good idea to just track the average, roll an average over the month. All right, so I do that definitely with the chord transitions, one at a time. Okay. Cool. Alrighty. We're going good, folks. Okay. If you have any other questions or anything like that, let me know. There's nothing coming in from here so far. Okay. I'll share a small bit here, just while we're waiting for questions in case any more come in. So we're working on finger picking. That's what we're working on. We're working on patterns, and so there's a lot of freedom on the fretboard after a while when it comes to fingerstyle, particularly, and with chord shapes. So for example, if I was to take this A, or hold on, I'll do this one. So this chord progression is G major 7 to B minor 7 to A. Now, a cool thing you can do after a while of knowing your chords is to basically find all the weirdest ways and coolest ways you can play the same shapes. But try and find them all within the same fretboard area. So for example, if I do the 5th fret on D, ring finger on G, pinky on B, and I'm on frets 5, 7, 7, that's a G major 7. Okay, now why in the name of God would somebody want to play it this way? Well, the first thing is it's more percussive. Instead of this, I go And when I can do it this way, it's like a power chord that's out of place. Now it opens up where I could play other chords around here. Like for example, that's 5-7-7 on D, G, and B. And then if you take off your index and you put your middle finger up on 7 of E, and you play those 3 strings, so I'm on E, I'm on G, I'm on B, that's a B minor. So a G major 7, then B minor. So the key thing here is I've kept 2 of the notes, and that's why it works so well. Like, you could switch any notes. You go here, go like this, and your ears are kind of kept entertained because of those 2 ringing out the whole way through. Now, what else you can do is this. Instead of keeping 2 going the whole way through, you could actually keep only 1 towards the end. So watch, I'm on 5-7-7 like this. Then, now what I do next is this. This chord is 7 on B, 6 on G with my middle, and 5 on E with my index. So that means that this 7 on B is being kept throughout the whole thing. Like that. And that's what keeps your ears entertained. And you can do anything, like I go. As long as I keep 1 note in it that your ears keep entertained with, it works. So, and the other thing too is you can do this sort of, you can add a bit of vibrato into the chord shape, which down here, it's much harder. That's another reason. The last thing then with it is you can do little fills. So if I was like this, see what I mean? So being up here now gives you way more freedom. And then the other thing about it is that's only 1 shape. Like you could play them still here. Same chords. And every time you can learn a new chord shape a different way. It's just like once you're up around that position of the fretboard, I spend like an hour or 2 basically just exploring, just kind of going, well, what else up around here? And making the mistakes. You know yourselves, like if you put your ring finger a string up too far in a D chord, you'll never forget it. So it's like that everywhere else. Alrighty, so let's check, is there any other questions? Going good, folks. Okay. Dave, which guitar books would you recommend? That's a great question. Okay, so in terms of books, Brian, what I recommend is pick one and see it to completion. It's like a method, it's like a course. When I was learning, William might have some suggestions too on books, or Declan. Did you mention books also? When I learned, I had a Learn to Play Guitar book. It was good for the diagrams, but I started flicking pages. I started going from page whatever to whatever. Then I got rid of that book and I got an easier book, kind of like the song tutorials. There's 2 amazing books for electric, 2 brilliant books, like 2 of the best books I'd ever read. It was Creative Guitar 1 and 2 by a guitarist called Guthrie Govan. Creative Guitar is the name of the books. They're electric, Brian, but the way he thinks about them is really good. But like, you know, I've an odd one here. It's like some of the books that could benefit you the most aren't guitar books. And I say this for any guitarist. Like I read a book called, I'm gonna get them here. Okay, Dave's book corner. It's happened. So a few books here. This one's called Deep Work. This book is about like basically trying to stay focused and getting into flow. And one of the best ways to get into flow is by being uninterrupted, and that's by devices, by setting boundaries around your time, and it's just like you're getting into it. As a teen playing guitar, I was in flow a lot of the time, and that definitely helped. So this book's pretty cool. It's about work, like, but a key question to ask yourself if you're ever watching Anton or listening to Anton and you want to improve your playing is, how can I apply this to my guitar journey? Okay, so how can I apply this to my guitar journey? Deep Work by Cal Newport. It's to do around basically setting that time aside to try and get into flow. Okay. Atomic Habits. I know a few of you have read this one. Really good. Just about the power of habit. Like, for example, leaving your guitar in the same position in a house, in the same room, aiming to practice at the same time of the day, or tying it next to a habit you already have is really good. This book is brilliant. I don't know if it's sold. It sold 3 million copies. More since. Another book that's cool is the 10x rule. A bit of a polarizing character, this guy, but the 10x rule is basically like, for example, what if you set a goal to learn the chorus chords of Sultans of Swing this year, right? That's one goal, and you set it that by December 15th you could play the chorus chords. But this book is all about like trying to think 10x that. So it's kind of like, well, what if you decided to play the end solo of Sultans of Swing? Like, it's 10 times harder. What work would you have to put in? What would you have to do? And how much practice? And see the way, so the bigger thinking would generally lead to more actions. But the key thing here is you've got to be really sure of your inputs, the inputs that would get you there. Because there is dopamine hits associated with setting big goals, and we feel like we've done something, but it's the inputs, the actions. So that's really good. Two more. This one is The One Thing. This is my favorite one. It's basically asking, what's the one thing I can do right now on guitar that by doing it makes everything else easier. If there was one book that influenced my teaching method the most, it's this one. You notice that when you're working on something, I'd be like, what's the one thing? What's the one chord change? What's the one chord shape? What's the one rhythm? For example, Andy, the metronome, that's your one thing. Like, your one thing is to play one chord with that tick of the metronome at 60 BPM. And then you find your next one thing. That's brilliant. The last one is The Compound Effect. It's a book by Darren Hardy. It's about the power of small changes, like just small little shifts. And usually we live day to day and we can't see change so easily, but little changes over time add up. I know there's a great example online of, it was some study where people asked if you could have a penny and it doubled every day, like, would you do that? Or would you, like, I forget what the sum of money was, it just sounded so big, but the penny doubling every day over enough time was just an insane amount. So like that with the practice. All right, so those are some books I would recommend. So I have found those books more beneficial for my guitar life than any guitar book I ever read. In terms of technique, it's Guthrie Govan. Hope that helps. Okay, so let's check another question. Trying to think, there's more books as well, but anyways. There's a really good book called The Success Principles. It's by a guy called Jack Canfield. That's brilliant. That's really good. Yeah, really good as well. So, question. I'm a beginner. What should I learn first the most? Okay, if you're an absolute beginner, you need to get 3 chords. And hey, so we've our paid community, right? But I do have a free guitar group as well with the free 5-day course in there. If you want that, just go to my profile and you'll find a link there. What you want as a beginner, you want 3 chords, A, D, and E. You want to get them clear. You want to change quickly between them. I'll show you how inside that 5-day course. You want to play with the metronome, play it in time, and you want to link up the chords to make a song. And one of the easy songs to start with is Happy Birthday. Why? Because you've probably heard it at least a couple of times in your life. And it's one you know the words of and one you can sing. And that way you can match the strum to your singing. That'll be the first thing. After that, then you basically set 1 degree aside. You add 2 new chords in. You add a G and an E minor. And then you start playing songs like Dreams by the Cranberries that use D, G, and A. So now you've Happy Birthday, you've Dreams by the Cranberries. Using some of the same chords, they're roughly around the same speed a lot of the time. And what that allows you to do is you're taking that one little step more and just steadying the basses, then take 1 step more. And that's the key thing as a beginner. Just watch out you don't fall into the trap of looking up YouTube videos, and there's a lot of ones out there saying stuff is easy and they're not at all. So just keep an eye out. Okay. Okay. Oh, Noel with the questions. Okay, hold on, Noel. Okay. Question: would there be any benefit of practicing chord changes or techniques with your eyes closed? Yeah, 100%. Okay, benefits. First benefit is if you're playing in a lowly lit room, which happens at gigs, 100% you need it. Second benefit is your ears work harder because now you can't see. I remember when I heard about Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder being blind and still playing piano. I was like, what the hell? And I remember closing my eyes playing guitar. And it definitely benefits. And the chord changes, yeah, your sense of feel will be heightened if you're not looking at what you're doing. And then the thing is, use the eyes as well, so that as you're doing it, you're kind of like, okay, that was like, use the eyes as the confirmation of what you felt. So you feel, how did that go? I think it's close. Then you look, no, it's not. I need to calibrate, recalibrate, move up. So definitely. And the number one thing with that, Noel, is be totally okay with making mistakes. That's key. So definitely practice and just make a ton of mistakes, but hear what they are and fix them. And that way you'll know by the feel of it then. Yeah, like I used to test myself. I used to turn off the lights in my room at night, and I would just play in the dark for an hour. And I did that because it was harder, it was more challenging. And then when it came to lowly lit gigs, I had no problem. Okay, so I hope that helps. William says Govan is amazing. Oh man, he's so good. Hey Coleman, how's things? Beyond revenue, is that how you say welcome, my friends? Bonjour. Nice. Okay, you're welcome, Brian. Nice one. To be red pile, love it. Yeah, I was trying with was Anne. You mentioned Tommy Cavett. I remember that before. Yeah, we might have a book club yet. That'd be cool. Yeah, 100% coming. Yeah, will do. And there's more as well. I just can't think of them. I don't think there's any more. Yeah, another cool one I read is Be Your Future Self Now. There's a guy called Benjamin Hardy. He writes, you've probably seen his books. He keeps writing bestsellers. But he's a book called Be Your Future Self Now. And the basic premise of it is, see, I did a coaching course years ago, and like guitar, of course, it's about behavior. You're aiming to shape your behavior to play better guitar. And we talk at the behavior level. It's like, try this, do that, don't do this. It's all do's and stuff. But like, you know, like for example, what Noel asked, oh, you're welcome, Noel. What Noel asked about playing with your eyes closed, like, notice the difference. If I ask, you know, what would you need to do to play guitar with your eyes closed? That's one question. What would you need to do? So we're at the behavior level. And then if I asked you, what would it take for you to be the type of guitar player who can play anything you want with your eyes closed? Did you feel a difference between that? Like, what would it take for you to become the type of guitar player who can play anything you want with your eyes closed? Straight away, it's like you're instantly up to the type of person that you want to work towards to do the stuff. So that's why identity is so powerful on guitar. And that's why, like, you got to catch yourself too with statements you might make about your playing, where like I miss, hey Ethan, how's it going? How are you keeping? Welcome in. We're streaming someplace else as well. Ethan, if you have any guitar questions, ask, okay? Come on. So, like, if we're working from the identity level, it's very powerful because the identity level directly affects behavior level. And, like, check this out. If I said, I'm not musical, that's kind of hard to work with. Like, I'm not musical. But if I say, there's times on guitar I do stuff that isn't that musical, straight away there's sort of leeway there. There's sort of space to navigate. But the other one then is identity stuff, you know. Yes, 100%. And by the way, we all do it. Like, we all do it. I do it myself with school guitar. You know, some stuff I don't think it's ever good enough for what I do. And with guitar, what you want to do is, and by the way, the crew who are in the community, if you want to do more mindset stuff, let me know. I love this stuff. Yeah, like, with that, then you want to come in with beliefs. There's, and it's okay. It's okay. Like, and the thing too is, you know, the way, like, identity, like, if you say, I'm a beginner, I'm an advanced guitarist, it's rare you'll hear people call themselves an advanced guitarist. Why? Because that identity carries a lot of assumptions, a lot of pressure with it, like, because people go, cool, let's hear you. Whereas, if you go, a lot of us will go, I've been playing for this amount of time. You know, that's an easier statement at times. So yeah, what have we got here? Thomas says, I find that guitar playing is all about believing in myself. Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's great to be aware of it too, you know. Andrea, I'm guilty that I tell people I'm a complete beginner. Very good. I'm sure then when you play, they're like, whoa, man. That's class. Okay. Andy, yeah, 100%. And Andy, that's the game of guitar, like, you know, it's just, and the key thing is to be around others. And that's what you got. And that's why the whole group you together, is powerful. It really is. Because all the stuff, like, if you say one thing to yourself about your playing, and then if you hear 7 or 8 people comment on your playing, and they either don't mention the thing that you thought was quote unquote bad, or they say, do you know what, I actually thought that was really nice, or that was pretty good. That's 7 or 8, like, and the brain just goes, geez, maybe, just maybe, maybe that thing that I thought was really bad isn't really bad, you know? Yeah, that's so cool. And that's why, Andre, the sharing the play in your video, like yourself and Andy and Thomas, like, in the last one, you know, and when you do the next one, it gets easier. So I look forward to Thomas, Andy, and Andrea with your second videos coming soon, hopefully. And Brian, we need to get yours as well. Yeah, so that's a bit on the mindset, and it's just with the identity stuff. Like, this is what I meant to share. Yeah. An example that I always think of is when I was in school. You know, when you start guitar, like, you're waiting for somebody to call yourself a guitarist. And in school one day, my music teacher, she asked me for a pick. Another kid needed one. And I said, I don't have one, because I didn't have my guitar. And she looked at me, I'll never forget, she said, a guitarist always has a pick in their pocket. And I was like, whoa, man, a guitarist always has a pick in their pocket. And I want to be a guitarist. So, yeah, so, like, from that day, most of the time, since whatever year, I don't know, 2003, I've had a pick in my pocket, like, you know. And it's just because she said that, you know. If she'd said it's a good idea to have a pick in your pocket because that's what guitar players do, wouldn't. But a guitarist, you know. So, yeah. Cool. Nice one. I'm posting on Instagram. That's cool. Okay, let's check any questions. But yeah, kind of turned into a mindset corner this evening. All good though. Yeah, so those are the things. And with the books, yeah, it's just like, you know, how you do one thing is how you do everything, as the saying goes. But on my own playing, definitely, yeah, it was like having the lessons there. And another thing as well, another thing that's really good to do is what they call modeling. It's where, like, it's where if somebody does something to a really good level, that you basically try and go in and see how they did it. Like my guitar teacher, the amount of stuff he would have shared with me that he practiced and that he did and how he thought about stuff, I paid very close, unconsciously, I paid very close attention to that as a kid. Because like looking back on it, if how a person thought about things would affect how they approach things. And at the end of the day, I saw the end result. So like anything that anything that he said he had done, I'd go home and try and do it. Like, and I won't say things here anyways, but like certain practice routines and stuff, and I'd go home and I'd be like, cool, if he does it, that must be the way to do it. You know, the thing about online nowadays though, it's like that was one person. If there was 7 people and I was trying to do all the stuff they do, it would mash and mix. You know. Hey Jeffrey, what is up? Welcome along. Brian, guitar is a good therapy. I find after work I can pick it up and practice. Yeah, 100%, 100%, 100%. So nice. Nice. Alrighty. Any other questions? Anybody have any book recommendations yourselves? And even if they're not guitar books, try and think what other ones. No, there's no. Some of the other ones are like pure business books. We don't need those. The Business of Guitar. Yeah, the Compound Effect is good. Yeah, in terms of motivational speakers, like in terms of mindset, Jim Rohn is amazing, really good, really great speaker, but goal setting and everything. Yeah, really good. So let's see. Alrighty, so folks, I'm going to let this run for 5 more minutes just because it started late due to the connection issues. So if you have any other questions, ask away. Happy to answer. The Complete Guitarist. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thanks, Brian. Oh, I remember seeing that. I think I had that book. Darling Kindersley, or the DK books. Yeah, man. Jeez, I saw. Oh, and likes Jim Rohn as well. Class. Yeah, Jim Rohn is so cool. Sure, I might share one of his clips in the community. It's from like the 70s, 80s now, but still stuff today, you know. Yeah, really good. But let's see, modern method for guitar. Thanks. Sure, I'll start a book thread in the community and we'll all share them underneath. That'd be cool. The real book is good for jazz standards, alright, definitely, William. The other one's all in standard notation. I might check that one out again. Class. Okay. Yeah, trying to think. I have Audible as well, but it's on this phone that I'm streaming from. Yeah, just a small bit about beliefs. Like a really interesting thing I'd learned, because when I did my coaching diploma years back, all my lessons in person turned into like mini coaching sessions. I got obsessed with like beliefs and belief change and habit change. So like I was kind of everything was coming from that angle. But one key thing about the beliefs. Oh, you're off, Thomas. Hey, no worries. You're so welcome. Oh man, it's amazing. It's great. Have a great evening, and we'll see you on a call real soon. All right. Have a nice evening. So beliefs, really quick. So, for example, a belief would be something you'd be saying that is a statement of something you think is true. Now, with respect to whatever you think is true, if it's something holding you back on guitar, it's something worth kind of trying to navigate around and to change. So, like, they're called limiting beliefs, if it's doing that. And the way you do it is, a cool way I found was, we used to write the belief. So, like, for example, I don't have good rhythm. That could be a limiting belief, because that will leak into your other guitar playing. But that statement has to be backed up by quote unquote evidence. And on a board, I used to write that I'm not good at rhythm, if a student said that. And we'd write 4 legs underneath this table. So these were the things supporting the belief. And I'd ask them, how do you know that you're not good at rhythm? And they say, well, and then they'd give me one reason. So that'd be one state. And they worked with me. I told them what we were working on, and I wrote that on the board because I messed up rhythm at a student concert. Next reason, because I learned drums, but I quit them. And my drum teacher said I didn't have rhythm. I'm making this up, by the way. My drum teacher said I didn't have rhythm. So we get these things. And then what we start to do is you begin to try and shake these legs at the table, these statements, and kind of go, okay, why is that? Did your drum teacher ever say anything like good about your rhythm as well? And then all of a sudden they might go, yeah, well, do you know what? They actually said, and all of a sudden that starts to shake. And then you go to the other thing that's holding up this belief, going, and did you mess up in every single student concert you ever played? And they might go, well, no, it's just that one. And I said, could you tell us about a time that your rhythm went well at a student concert? And all of a sudden you start to rattle it, and you start going between the legs, and all of a sudden, and then once it starts to rattle down, then you get to work on the rhythm with them. That's an example, one example, and you can do it yourselves as well. I am statements, definitely, like it's like the opposite of the I can't statements. Okay, I'll take this. We can have an old mindset talk yet in the community. Who knows? This is cool. Okay, last question from Noel. And I'm going to log this. Okay. Do you still tune your guitar by ear, or do you only use a guitar tuner these days? No, I only use a guitar tuner, and I have to say, my ear has suffered. Definitely, used to be really sharp tuning, not as sharp anymore. And nowadays, like, I don't know, I feel like we've different reasons for why we'd want to get it perfect. Like years ago, whatever, you play a gig, you use a tuner. Nowadays, like, well, I might be recording a video for the community, like, yeah, I could tune by ear, but it'd be nice to be really sure it's in tune. This could be going on Instagram, this could be going on YouTube, so yeah, like, I don't know. I definitely, a bit of both is good, a good mix. Hey, William, we'll see you. Thanks for making it in. Yeah, I'm going to call it here now. Matthew, you have a question about tips for barre chords, so I'm going to share with you, right? I have a ton of free barre chord resources, 30 to 40 minutes worth of lessons, and also shorts, 52-second shorts that fix barre chord problems. Just go to my channel and search, okay? Or if you want, drop me an email, dave@schoolofguitar.com, and I can point you towards the one that you need the most. Just drop me an email, let me know which one you need. All right. We'll catch you all real soon. Thanks for making it, everybody, and I'll see you in the group. And hey, if you're watching this and you want to join our community full of amazing guitarists like the ones who are chatting here this evening, just go to theschoolofguitar.com, and there's a link there to request an invite. All right. Hey, we'll catch you all soon. Noel, you're very welcome. Thanks for making it in. Andy, we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks, Andrea. Thanks a million. Enjoy the camping. And brilliant, Dan. Glad you enjoyed it. Glad. Lovely. Thanks for making it in. All right, Matthew. Yeah, drop me an email, Matthew. David@schoolofguitar.com. Okay, Hey, we'll see you all soon.